I'm gonna give you the raw truth. Stop thinking you're going to do it by playing nice and safe. You think greatness comes by waiting around, hoping for some original idea to just fall into your lap. No, you've got to get in there, get your hands dirty, and take what you need. Look at the creators who made it. You think they got there by being polite, by holding back? Hell no. They studied those who came before them, borrowed their best ideas, and threw their own fire on top. There's a saying, good artists copy, great artists steal. That doesn't mean plagiarizing or copying someone's entire style. It means finding what resonates with you, ripping it apart, and rebuilding it in a way that has your name written all over it. In the first video of Faceless Reality, I share some basics, and in the second video, I discuss some manipulating techniques. So if you're serious about this, if you're ready to stop being just another creator and start being the creator people, then it's time to understand the 3 rules of creativity. Rule number 1. Steal like an artist, make it your own. Let's get one thing straight, there are no original ideas. Everything you see, everything you admire, it's all been done before in some way or another. But here's the real magic. It's not about doing something first. It's about doing it differently, doing it better, doing it with everything you've got. Stop obsessing over being original, because that's a trap. Stop thinking you have to create something no one has ever seen before. Instead, focus on being unforgettable. Stand out by putting yourself in the work. The creators you admire, the ones who seem like they're pulling ideas out of thin air, they didn't just invent greatness from scratch. They studied, they analyzed, they absorbed what worked for others. They knew there was no shame in borrowing. But here's the difference, they didn't just copy and paste. They took ideas and transformed them. They stole like artists, yes, but they left their own unmistakable mark on everything they touched. They weren't afraid to take what inspired them and then break it wide open, make it better, reshape it, reimagine it. That's what it means to steal like an artist. Look around you. The content you're creating, the videos you're planning, don't just sit there waiting for a miraculous stroke of originality to save you. Look at what's working. Who are the top creators in your niche? What videos are people talking about? Take note. Study what makes them powerful, what makes them work, because that's where you'll find the seeds of creativity. But here's the trick, once you've found those seeds, don't just mimic them. Tear them apart. Ask yourself, how can I bring my own perspective to this? What can I add that no one else has? What if I took this idea to the absolute extreme? That's how you make it yours. And remember, when you take something, when you're inspired by someone else's work, don't just repeat it. Rebuild it. Put your soul into it. Make it so personal, so distinct, that no one could accuse you of simply copying, because you've transformed it beyond recognition. True creativity isn't about where an idea came from. It's about where you take it. It's about the spin you put on it, the way you bring it to life with your unique perspective, your energy, your story. Good creators borrow, great creators steal and make it their own. Don't just copy. Claim. When you claim something, you're not just taking it, you're making it yours. You're putting down roots, saying, this is mine. This is my voice, my vision. That's the difference between dabbling and dominating. You're not just a follower, you're setting the pace. You're creating something that has your identity stamped all over it. So if you're serious, if you're not just here to dabble but to dominate, then take what inspires you, push it further than anyone else ever could. Make people remember you for how you did it. Let them know that you're not just another creator in the crowd. You're the one who claimed the ideas, turned them inside out, and made them legendary. That's what it means to steal like an artist. That's how you make your mark. Rule number 2. Don't wait for inspiration, force it. Let's kill this illusion that inspiration is something you can wait around for. You think the best creators are out here, just sitting in their comfy chairs, waiting for that lightning bolt of genius. You think they're waiting for some magical aha moment to come rescue them from their own doubts. Hell no. The greats, the ones who leave a mark, who set trends, who change the game. They don't wait for inspiration. They hunt it down, they drag it out of the shadows, kicking and screaming if they have to. Think about it. When do you really need creativity? It's not when everything's flowing, when you feel good, when ideas are lining up effortlessly in your mind. No, you need creativity when you're stuck, when you're exhausted, when you're knee-deep in self-doubt, and the last thing you want to do is keep going. That's when true creativity is born. It's in the moments when you're dragging yourself through the mud, pushing through, when every fiber of your being says, take a break, come back later. You can't wait for inspiration in those moments. You force it. When you're facing a blank page, a blank screen, a dead end, that's the test. Anyone can create when they're feeling it, but only the real ones keep going when it feels impossible. They don't let the lack of inspiration stop them. They beat it into submission. They understand that creativity is not some elusive gift that only shows up when it's convenient. Creativity is a skill, a muscle that gets stronger every time you force yourself to work without feeling inspired. So stop looking for the perfect conditions. Stop waiting for motivation to knock on your door. Go out and grab it by the throat. If you want to find creativity, don't wait for it to find you. Go out there and grab it by the throat. How do you think greatness is built? It's built in the discipline, in the relentless persistence, in the act of creating when you've got nothing left to give. If you're serious about this, if you're here to actually make something of yourself, then get over the need to feel ready or inspired. Because here's the truth, most of the time you won't feel ready. You'll feel tired, frustrated, even defeated. But that's where the real magic happens in the fight. Think of the creators who made it, the ones whose work stands the test of time. You think they weren't human. You think they didn't have days when they wanted to quit, when everything felt pointless. They did, but they showed up anyway. They showed up when inspiration was nowhere to be found. They didn't wait for the stars to align. They aligned their actions with their goals day in and day out, no matter how they felt. So let me ask you, are you ready to show up? Are you ready to push through the days when creativity feels like a distant dream? Because if you're not, if you're still waiting for that perfect moment, that perfect spark of inspiration, then you're wasting time. The only way to find gold is to dig for it every single day. And you don't dig just because you feel like it, you dig because you're hungry for it. You dig because you're determined to succeed, no matter what it takes. Creativity is not a gift, it's a demand. It demands consistency, commitment, and the courage to create even when you have no idea if it's going to work. So stop waiting, stop wishing, and start doing. Force that inspiration to show up. Demand it, make creativity come to you, not the other way around. If you can do that, if you can bring that kind of fire, that kind of relentless pursuit, then you'll never have to worry about being inspired again. You'll be unstoppable. Rule number 3. Stay hungry, never settle. Let's tear down the biggest lie you've been told about creativity, that you have to wait around for inspiration to strike, like some gift from the universe. You think the creators at the top, the ones everyone else looks up to, are just sitting there, arms folded, waiting for that aha moment. You think they're lounging, hoping some miracle of creativity will drop into their lap. Think again. These people don't just wait, they hunt down inspiration like it's prey. They don't sit back hoping for motivation. They know they have to generate it. When they're exhausted, when their minds are blank, when every cell in their body says, take a break, they push harder. They show up no matter what. Because they know that true creativity isn't about what you do when you're inspired, it's about what you do when you're not. When you're staring at the screen, trying to make something out of nothing, that's when your character shows. Anyone can create when things are easy, when ideas are pouring in effortlessly. But that's not where the real work happens. The greats are forged in the moments when they're at their breaking point, when they feel like they've got nothing left. And they dig deep to find that last ounce of determination to keep going. Think about it, how often do you hear people say they're waiting for inspiration? That's code for I don't feel like putting in the effort today. And if you're serious about creating something meaningful, about leaving a mark, you've got to get over that. You can't afford to wait. You can't sit there wishing for the stars to align. You have to grab creativity by the throat and force it into existence. Because here's the brutal truth. If you're waiting, someone else out there is already working. They're already making the content, getting the views, connecting with the audience. They're not waiting for inspiration, they're forcing it. If you want to find creativity, don't wait for it to find you. Go out there and grab it by the throat. But how? How do you force inspiration when you feel empty? When every idea seems dull? When you're questioning why you're even doing this? This is where most people stop. They think the well has run dry, that they need a break to get their mojo back. But the best creators know that's exactly when you need to double down. When nothing's working, that's when you experiment, try new angles, push through your limits, and create just to stay in the game. Creativity lives in the discipline. If you're waiting for that perfect moment, if you think creativity is a rare spark that only hits under ideal conditions, then I've got news for you, you're going to be waiting forever. Creativity is a choice. It's showing up every single day, putting in the hours, forcing yourself to create, even when you don't feel like it. Because that's the only way to build momentum, to develop those creative muscles, to get better and sharper with every step. Consistency unlocks creativity. Listen, the most brilliant ideas are rarely born in moments of ease. They come in moments of struggle. They come when you push past your comfort zone, when you dive deep into the unknown and force yourself to find something worth sharing. You've got to go to war with creativity every single day. You have to be relentless. You have to be willing to push yourself harder, to reach for more, to demand that spark even when you're running on empty. The only way to find gold is to dig for it every single day. So ask yourself right now, are you ready to show up, day in and day out? Are you ready to put in the work, even when it feels like nothing's happening? Because if you're not, if you're still waiting for that ideal moment to start creating, you're wasting time. You're giving up on your own potential. Real creativity doesn't strike when you're ready. It doesn't wait for you to feel inspired. It shows up when you make it show up. And the only way to make it show up is to grind, to push, to create even when it feels like there's nothing left to give. That's where your best work is hiding, in those moments when you feel like there's nothing. That's when you discover what you're truly capable of. So if you want to be different, if you want to be unforgettable, then you've got to be the one who keeps pushing, who keeps creating, no matter what. Make creativity come to you. Go out there and drag it out of the shadows, demand it. and don't give up until it shows up. That's how legends are made. That's how you find success.